Hello and welcome back to Everybody Loves Raiken, our 5th edition live play that meets every Tuesday night. We were off last week, but we are back. And, if memory serves, what we were up to was that the party had split up. Laromendis stayed behind in Dicoselthus so that he could spend the day studying his new magic spells and copying them into his books. While the rest of the party went to Tuka via teleportation in order to retrieve the scale of Shisharin, so that they can be ready to put their battle plan into motion in the coming days, and generally take care of any things that they could think of. And so they went about town, they saw the sights, they stopped, they had a meal together, just sort of took in the day. They did a lot of walking. Like, you guys definitely got your steps in that day as you went pretty much from one side of the city to the other and then kind of back again. There was a visit to the Temple of Ione, so that Jebel and Vendar could check on the dissemination of this, whatever the temple in Everwatch had been able to learn about their bottled night poison, which was a surprising amount given that it had only been a couple of days. It's incomplete, but they have at least a good idea of what it does, even if they don't currently have exactly the means or the know-how to recreate it themselves at this time. Yeah, they just had a quick word with Kalimdar, and thus far they've managed to avoid running into anybody in this town who might not like them. So, that's right. Yukikaze took the party to the dock area, where the Kageboshi from his clan is usually stationed to gather intel for the Nanaboshi, and they met with
Sasuke.
Was it? Sasuke was the first one to come to my mind. I'm like, maybe. But maybe not. So yes, thank you, Sasuke. Who was able to confirm the information that Yukikaze had about Shisharin attacking the Nanaboshi out in the desert, and them losing a good number of people in that attack, and that there is an interim leadership there, but they do seem to be holding out hope that eventually Yuki's pilgrimage will complete, and he'll be able to return to the Nanaboshi and take up the mantle left by his father. So, we rejoin the party here in Tuka. You have had your meal just recently. You're all feeling quite well fed. You went and looked for a place following Yukikaze that would specifically serve dragonborn foods, and it was good. You were able to find non-meat things for the people who don't like meat, so everybody is well satisfied with what they had. And it is moving to evening as you remain within the city of Tuka. You will know that it was going to take Laromendis, 18 hours, 12 hours, to copy all the spells that he wanted. So there isn't really a rush to get back to him, but I will remind you that this is the end of the second day out of the 7 that you were granted by Tatsuya Lumos, which you were expected to use to go and negotiate for the White Scale.
It was 22 hours.
My bad.
Having learned Gate at level up. So it would have been real bad otherwise.
Add another 18 hours on that.
Yeah.
Alright. So, you are in the city. You are able to return to the Mages Guild to be teleported back to Dicoselthus if you wish. You may do any number of things. The sky's the limit. Hell, you don't have to teleport back to Dicoselthus. You could teleport somewhere else. What do you want to do?
We can go anywheres right now?
Technically, I mean, you know that you have to pay for a teleportation, but no matter where you go, the amount is going to be the same.
Oh,
20 flat to teleport, right?
I was gonna say.
It was 150 gold pieces to do a teleportation.
Okay, 15 flat.
I was gonna say, you guys plunder all of our codes. You know, we can go to our codes, see if there's anything else useful. Let's hopping it out.
Wow.
What?
Nothing.
I'm just trying to think of any little nook or cranny of tidbit of stuff we can get, because I underestimate fighting dragons. I know we're going to need every little piece of thing we can get.
Is our cushion that's still full of dragons?
Yeah, but if we could hop in and hop out, you know, why not? Just...
Arcosia
Hopping out is more
may...
difficult for you.
Vendar. Arcosia may not still be full of dragons for two reasons. You know that Bromdor had been moving people and objects between Bromdor and Arcosia regularly in the recent months. And also you were told that Bala moved to Ebengard with, quote, her whole brood, which would supposedly mean all the dragons that were there. Now, that does not necessarily mean she didn't leave any behind, but somebody seems to think she took them all.
But anyways,
Makes sense.
alright.
But even if they're not, Bromdor's been looting it. You want to go?
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. I'm just trying to think of anywhere we can hop to get something before we gotta, you know...
Go loot Bromdor. Go loot Bromdor. Go loot Bromdor.
Go loot Bromdor.
Yeah, you think you'd want to do that.
Something that might
I don't think Nalia
occur
would
to
appreciate it.
Vendar might be because we just had our big involved conversation about our plan with Gabriel, but your sister doesn't yet know from us all of the information that we've gained since we left her. So I don't know if you had interest, if you would think that it would be a good idea for you to teleport there to talk to her and basically give the same information that Nalia and Gabriel have to her.
I guess I could do that.
I don't have anything personally myself. I'll just tell everyone in the party. I don't think I have anything pressing that I know of that we can get that's useful at the moment.
How long? How long before Blair's done?
Laromendis would have told you that it would take him 22 hours of extreme focus to get the spells done that he wanted to get done. I think it's reasonable that he would have said that he would send to you after he was finished if you weren't back yet.
Alright. So how many hours has it been?
Well, Laromendis, you started, right in the morning when they left. Did you start before that? You didn't, because you had to go to...
No, I don't. Yeah, there was there was at least the talking with Fen to bribe him enough to let him bribe him with the information and the.
So
the
let's say
residual.
that you finally got to start around 11 a.m.
Yeah.
You guys are all in the same time zone. It's now about 7 p.m., so you've been going for 8 hours.
I have yet to finish a spell.
Okay, so there's still lots of time. And
Yeah.
so it's 7 p.m. here. What time is it in Everwatch?
In Everwatch, it's roughly, try to do this, I haven't had to do a big jump like this one recently, we'll say that it's, 8 hours behind. So, it's 11 a.m. there.
Well, that's convenient. Alright, yeah, sure, why not? I'll go talk to my sister. Gonna spend some time in Everwatch.
Okay, you're gonna teleport to Everwatch, is what you're proposing to the party. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Party! Vendar has proposed to teleport to Everwatch. How do you feel about that? Good?
But I'm
To
thinking,
Everwatch.
why aren't we going back?
There's still 14 hours before Lair's done. And I thought I could update my sister.
So you want us to do a world tour?
It's just money.
It's just money.
Money is meaningless to us now.
That's true.
When it comes in the form of gold. Like, the only way money is meaningful now is in residuum. Because otherwise it's too easy to acquire.
You're not here.
As long as you're willing to destroy a few local economies. But it's fine, they bounce back eventually.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to a tavern. You want to pay for a room, and it's just like, here, I've got this magic dust.
We'll give you
I mean,
half
this
of a grain.
handful- Yes, this little pinch here, I can buy this entire building. I don't fucking think so.
You'd have to go through the middleman of the Mages Guild.
There we go. Just as a representative map here. You pay your 15 platinum, Vendar. The Mages Guild will contact the Everwatch Mages Guild for you. They'll get permission to teleport you, and you will be teleported. You find that you are teleported onto a... I don't think you've ever teleported here officially, honestly. I think every time you've teleported to Everwatch, it's been using Nalia's special teleportation
Know the official circle?
So you
I was never told the official circle.
you appear in the Everwatch Mages Guild in a room you've never been in before. The Archmage there greets you. You remember Theron Ethian, the elf. He looks as imperious as ever, and he shows you to the front door. Unless there's anything you need from the Mages Guild, he believes that that is all he has to do for you.
I'll do it on the way back.
Okay.
Go.
You leave the Mages Guild and head up to the Brilliant Plaza, where you know is the Temple of Pelor, the Boar Hunter Lodge, and the Palace. You wish to go see your sister?
Yes.
Then you will head to the Dawn Spire, as per usual. There are guards here who wish to confiscate your weapons.
Of course.
You know that every one of you has a bag of holding at this point. You can just dump any dangerous objects you have in the bag of holding and give them the bags of holding is probably the easiest way to do it.
Yep, that's what I'll do.
Alright, is anybody...
Yeah.
Is anybody against doing that?
Nope.
Okay.
I'll make sure to say, be careful with this. Don't open it.
They, they stare at you for a moment. Did anybody get their bags re-arcane locked at this point, or are they all still not arcane locked?
Haven't had it arcane locked yet, but I do want
Yeah,
to. Haven't had the
That's
time.
something we
Arcane
should do.
You all know that Laromendis has the spell?
Yeah, but you're busy right now.
I'm saying, like, you can talk to him about it for, like, next time he's preparing spells when you're around.
Yeah, that would require us to think about it.
Exactly.
Thinking is hard. Okay, so that is what you know. All of you have surrendered your bags of holding containing your dangerous objects, weapons, armor, shields, the like. So,
The eyes of the dragons and the scales of the dragon, I mean, and
yep.
the nitro and
Yeah, everything. You are escorted another guard.
Yukigaze wants to make the recommendation, considering the fact that everyone just stated. Guys, you just want me to stay out here with the stuff? Keep an eye on it?
if you want to, you're not needed inside, so.
That's what I'm thinking. So I'll keep an eye on all our stuff out here.
That sounded so mean, but okay. Very well. And instead of surrendering your bags to the guards, you will all pile them on top of Yukikaze, who has no difficulty at all holding 6 bags of holding. Even though that's like 90 pounds of stuff. Everybody...
Yeah, but he's a big, strong dragon.
I mean, he is. He really is. Everybody except Yukikaze moves up the tower. You are guided by a summoned guard. Again, as per previous times you've been here, big stone structure, lots of political and clerical people in here, lots of acolytes of Pelor, moving about, conversing, exchanging documents, these kinds of businessy things going on. And it seems to be very compartmentalized in that way. You're not seeing a lot of soldiers just running around and training in here, or, you know, chefs cooking or anything like that. It seems like this is kept very aristocratic here. Everybody is well dressed. Everybody is pompous. You can feel it on them. Anyway, you're led up the tower. You recognize the doors you're led to. You're brought to Lilith's rooms, where she has the large windows that overlook the city. You can see it is early morning now. We'll say the whole, you know, going to the temple, teleporting, then walking from the temple to here, say that took about an hour. So it's noon. And you know, when the door is knocked upon, there is a pause, and then you are summoned within. And as the guard leaves you, Lilith stands there, looking as regal as ever, in a flowing dress. Today's color is this kind of a sheer, dark, like a dark gray that is layered. It looks very nice. She's got jewels all over this. She looks over to you, and she looks surprised to see you. And she says, Vendar, I thought you were off fighting the dragons.
Yeah, soon. Things have been going quickly. But Laromendis needed to learn some spells before we did that, so he's in the middle of doing that, and it takes a while.
She's going to just hold up her hand, showing you her ring.
What about the ring? Oh, right. I do the thing.
You do the thing. She does. She interrupts you to make sure that this happens. That no one is given a pass for the formalities that must be paid to her position. So Vendar goes up to kiss the ring. And now you may continue.
Where was I?
Laromendis copying spells.
Right. So yes, Laromendis is copying spells, and it takes a long time, and none of us have anything to do while he's doing that, so I thought I'd come update you on all of the lot of stuff that has happened in the last couple days.
And this is not just we're going to go to a place. This is a more all-encompassing update? Comprehensive, that's the word.
Yeah, about the political implications of our plan and our plan to deal with the dragons.
Very good. I did not want to have to remind you that I do not need an update of your every movement. I trust that you and your friends, she says, nodding to the others in the room, can handle your affairs.
Yeah, well, we'll need the political leaders of the whole world to work together on this. So I think it's important that you know that.
Very well. What have you to say?
Okay. What did she know at this point? Did we tell her about the plan with what was the Red Dragon's name?
Karasoth.
Karasoth? Did we tell her about our
I
plan with
believe that
Karasoth?
you had explained to her that you were considering trying to get Karasoth to turn on the others.
Alright. So I told you that we had considered a plan with Karasoth. So we're going through with a slight variation of the plan. Instead of Karasoth, we're working with Elsamith.
There is a long silence, and she is blinking at you as you say these names to her.
Right. You probably don't know who they are. So the dragons, there are 5 of them. They'll have their names. One of them's still sealed, and we're hoping to keep that one sealed.
Very good.
But the big red one is Karasoth. Then
And that would be the leader, right? Red Dragon's biggest and strongest?
presumed leader, they're all kind of conniving and really out for their own interests, so they do follow him, but it's not like they're not willing to betray him.
I see. And this Elsamith, I believe that I heard the reports that Elsamith had risen by Stormreef Isle and then gone to Tuka before turning north. Is that correct?
Yes, Elsamith came and retrieved Shisharan, the Black Dragon, from her rampage.
So there is some sway among them.
Yes, they do at least listen to him enough to stop what they're doing to go talk to him, and they are working together, but
so they
Elsamith's
I'm
already...
sorry, perhaps I'm following incorrectly. It sounds like they listened to Elsamith enough to go talk to him?
So yes, Shisharan listened to Elsamith in that they were heeding Karasoth's call to go to Evangard.
Okay, I am sorry to interrupt. I didn't fully comprehend that portion of the statement. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Yeah, we've told so many people about this, I forget who knows what.
No, I really... Continue.
So... Right, so Elsamith got Shisharan to go back to go up to Evangard there. And we hadn't actually interacted with any of the dragons other than Shisharan trying to kill us. But we thought that the Red Dragon might have been a good fit given what we know about Red Dragons, but given what we know about Blue Dragons, there also might even be a better fit. And then we ran into a dragon working for Elsamith, and we made a deal with him, as Elsamith was already trying to backstab Karasoth, so that fit into our plans nicely, so...
Okay.
Because in order for Tiamat to come back, they all need to die, and they don't want to die.
I see. So you're going to attempt to kill 3 of the 4 that are up, and the one that you will spare is this Elsamith.
Mm-hmm. And we'll have to come up with some sort of agreement to coexist with Elsamith.
I see. And you believe that can be done?
I believe so.
Okay. Have you interacted with Elsamith at this time?
Not yet. We will meet Elsamith soon. The dragon is setting up a meeting with us. I'm not exactly excited about that, but it needs to happen.
The dragon, not Elsamith.
Yes. What was the dragon's name?
Azurai.
Yes, the dragon's name is Azurai. He was either the grandson. I think he's the grandson of Elsamith.
I see. So, Yeah, good enough. A relative of the dragon you want to work with. And this dragon, Azurai, wants to help facilitate that.
Yes, that's Elsman's plan as we know it, and we believe the plan. We believe in their own self-interest here.
Interesting. So you trust this Azurai, and by extension you trust that Elsamenth will work with you. But you haven't yet met with Elsamenth, so you are uncertain.
Yes, that is our current state.
But you trust.
Yes, I trust them to serve their own self-interest here, and I trust that this is in Elsamenth and his entire brood's best interest.
I see. And the alternative to sparing Elsamenth is to kill all of them and then their mother. Is that correct?
We could attempt to kill all of them and seal all 4 of them again. That would be easier than trying to fight Tiamat, but still much more difficult than having one of them aiding us.
I see the logic.
Out of character, you do also know that we gave them Elsamenth's scale. So
true. That would also be much harder to do at this point, given the item we need is now in the hands of Elsamenth.
That is unfortunate.
We would have to retrieve that if we wanted to do that. So that's kind of, it's not the plan.
I suspect that Elsamenth would be disagreeable to you doing that.
Oh, very.
I see.
So.
And this final one that hasn't risen, the 5th, where are they, and how do you know they will not?
They are guarded by a lich. He is incredibly powerful.
You've met
and
this
they're
lich?
very far away. I have met this lich. We've spoken with this lich. We're on acquaintance terms with this lich.
You're gonna see her, look around. She's gonna find the nearest chair and ease herself back into it, raising a hand to her chin, observing you over her fingers. She's gonna say, "And I am not well schooled in such matters. Lich is a powerful undead."
Yeah, he's a fairly unique lich in that he's not the typical, Vecna lich. He became a lich specifically so that he would be undying, so that he could protect the scale of Woodamere. Because he didn't trust anyone else to do it.
I don't mean to be obtuse, brother, but if a person is going to become a lich and the perk of being a lich is not dying, per se, wouldn't that be very much like other liches?
Well, he's a little like other liches.
So...
But he's not outright evil. We've dealt with a few liches, and he's different than them.
So you said you met with him, and he did not try to turn you into a zombie?
No, he's not. He didn't do that. He has a bunch of followers too, and they're.
Is he devouring their souls or whatever it is liches do, making them into zombies?
No, up until recently, for the last several hundred years or whatever, however long it was, I'll give an exact time.
1,000 years.
For the last 1,000 years, he actually was just a demi-lich because he refused to do that. He did it the one time to become a lich, and then he just let himself wither into a demi-lich. But he did recently have one of his other followers sacrifice himself so that he would have the power to defend Wodamir's scale. So, some goods and bads.
You have interesting adventures when you're away, Vendar.
Yeah, a lot happens in not very much time.
Well, that is a statement I can relate to. A lot does happen in not very much time. Now, there is another force at work here, correct? Another plan in the works. Not
Yes.
yours.
their plan is to somehow fight that Lich, get the Scale of Widdermere, use the Scale of Widdermere to unseal the 5th dragon, fight and kill all 5 dragons at the same time, and then immediately after, fight and kill Tiamat.
I like that you said somehow kill the Lich as if that wasn't our responsibility.
But
Well, we're not going to do it. They would have to do it.
they, you say, they have an army. You have friends?
We have a plan to usurp that army into the plan that has a chance of actually succeeding.
Oh gosh. What are you doing, Vendar?
Details.
Look,
He's doing Vendar things.
it wasn't necessary for me to talk to you about it before. But I think that this other army, she emphasizes the word, has a pretty good chance here. Why would you undermine that?
They really don't.
The army isn't that big, and it's 5 ancient dragons.
She
and their
holds up a
entire
hand
horde.
for stalling you and looks at Raiken. Why do you say that?
We've seen the army.
You've seen the army.
His fanatical brother is the leader.
Of course you're related. He was loud too.
Yeah. Runs in the family.
You say you've seen the army, and you don't
And the
believe...
idea gives you a look.
We even saw the army fight a kraken, and the losses they took from the kraken is a fraction of what they'll take from the dragons. They're not going to be able to withstand that.
How?
There are reinforcements coming, but we're hoping to very soon change those reinforcements to be working towards our plan, not Tatsuya's. The Empire of the Four Queens is sending reinforcements. They're crossing the sea as we speak.
That makes sense. Okay, thank you for confirming that for me. I had been more recently in communication there, and that seemed to be what they were planning to do, but they had not yet moved, as last we spoke. So, the Empire's army will be there. They also have a fleet, but I suspect that the fleet won't be useful if it's bound to the inner sea. Your information says that the dragons are in Watchtower Point, correct?
Yes, I believe that's what I...
And you believe that how do I phrase this? Contingent, a collective, collectivizing strength. You believe that the powers of the world working together against the dragons is the best way to succeed. Larger army, better results. Is that your stance? Or do you really believe that... you said you wanted to take over their army, right? That's what you...
Yes, we're also planning to turn their army into our way of thinking.
Okay. I am going to redouble my efforts in communicating with the Empire of the Four Queens and try to make sure that they are engaging their fleet on Amaranta's coast, as that will be more useful in the fight. They're likely moving soldiers and what ships they have in the inner sea to support a battle near there if it happens, but if it doesn't do them any good. Okay, this is good. This is a plan. I can work with this. Does anybody... You are moving around quite a lot, talking to people. Is there anybody you would recommend I get in touch with, brother?
We're currently, the party is staying in Daiko Selfish. You should probably get in touch with Daikon Gabriel there.
She looks a little displeased. Of course.
Why does everyone hate Cabral?
Because she's isolationist, Sam.
Look.
Lara's good friends with Gabriel, so we're working with her on that. So hopefully that will smooth tensions.
May I use Laromendis' name when I communicate with Gabriel?
Absolutely.
Cool. I will do that. That might go more smoothly.
Laromendis sneezes.
Yeah, I was gonna say Laromendis sneezes way off where he is. I don't like the feeling of this.
And
This-
we also went and talked to Claire, the current leader over in Romdor, so you could get in touch with her.
Claire. Does she have a family name?
Am I aware of her having a family name?
I think she's been introduced with it, but it was a long time ago. You should roll history.
Oh, shit, where am I die?
Those are useful.
Occasionally. Now is one of those occasions.
22.
22. Okay. You remember that her family name is Evenhand.
Yes, it's Claire Evenhand.
I don't know this name. Okay, well, that's fine. I'll figure it out. I did wonder who was running things in the absence of Sivan. Good to know. Okay. Alright. This army. She looks stressed out right now. This army that you saw, that you, she indicates Raiken, don't believe is good enough to do this job. Were they at Storm Revile?
That's where we were, right?
Yeah, that's where we fought the Kraken.
Yeah.
Well, that's where they fought the Kraken.
Yes, they currently had camp at Storm Refile. That's where the Kraken, where they fought the Kraken as well.
And did they have magic items?
I believe they had some grenades.
They had lots of grenades.
Those weren't provided by us. Our shipment of elemental grenades only just went out. It wouldn't be to them yet.
Yeah,
So
they
they
said they were going to get more.
So they have another source. Interesting.
Well, the more might be from you, but the ones they have, I'm not sure where they got them
Yeah,
from.
so I'm referring to the ones they were already using.
Maybe Tuka or maybe the Mages Guild.
Did they have the firearms?
Only you have the firearms.
Well, soon they'll have the firearms then.
That's something I wanted to talk to you about. You managed to get them made?
Yes! Yes. Once she kind of raises a hand and moves back and forth looking over the group, and before finding a small little Jebel there, says, once your uncle, was it, arrived, we were able to very quickly determine not only how the gunpowder had been accomplished, but simple ways of procuring and manufacturing more, and I was able to put quite a lot of people on it very quickly, as we are very invested, we here in Aspara, in ending the threat of the dragons by any means. So we were able to send about, 200 muskets this morning.
That will certainly be helpful. I'm glad that you were able to make that happen so quickly.
Yes, well, it is thanks to you. Allowing us to, keep the one. Is there another... Oh, yes, please. I did want to know your request.
I mean, if I could have either the one back or a new one that you made, I would appreciate that.
The one that you gave us was instrumental in understanding its manufacture. I can give you a new one. It should function the same.
I'm
The old
fine
one
with
got
that.
broken down.
I figured that might be the case.
I'm sorry if it had sentimental value. Truly, I am.
It's alright, I was willing to part with it.
The new one has the Drakner crest on it.
Ooh, that's nice. There's like personalized weapons.
We also... I say we, but I mean the people working for me, presented some ideas. They fulfilled the order, of course, but they have material to continue manufacturing more. Obviously, we're going to continue providing as long as we can. But they tried some new techniques, and one was promising. We found that the musket, as you called it, is long and heavy and difficult to wield for some. We were able to sacrifice range and accuracy to gain a much smaller, lighter version.
Interesting.
The gnome calls it a pistol.
Suppose I can have one of those pistols too.
Well, sure. I can let you have one of the pistols.
Awesome.
Now, is there further news besides you attempting to undermine my plans for saving the world?
Not totally undermined. We're still going to use those weapons.
Yep.
It's just not going to be Tatsuya leading them.
I hope that whatever happens, the world ends up saved, brother. I hope that you'll take into consideration, when the time comes, what plan has the best chance of success.
So why we're doing all this, to make sure the world survives.
Very well. In any event, now you know that. We are providing weapons to Tatsuya's army. Good luck taking it over.
No, you got another champion of Bahamut, so I'm going to just kind of scoot him in his place.
She looks at Raiken.
No, not me.
He's actually downstairs. He's watching the bags.
Or stating to your sister that you don't trust her guards.
Don't think about that.
He's watching our bags. Your guards suck.
Another champion of Bahamut who's gonna save the world, and he's watching the bags. I wish you luck, brother. Know that I love you, however this turns out.
Yes, of course.
It's alright. I'm the champion of Cord.
I don't think she knows what's in the bags.
Yeah, champion the cord gets the doors.
So it must be your job to open the doors for the rest of the party.
Snap up the door. Come on, champion of Core.
I don't want
Go screw yourself.
valuables that are in those bags, excuse you very much. Of course, the best way to watch them is watching them.
Perhaps.
It's not exactly the valuables, but more the dangerous, volatile, experimental shit.
Perhaps you should take 2 pistols, brother. Just in case.
If you're offering me to.
What is family for?
Well, thank you, sister.
Now then, I am about to take lunch.
Of
I
course,
don't
it's
suppose
like
you
time.
want food.
We just ate recently.
Oh,
so
good. I didn't order enough for you.
It's fine. I'll let you get to your lunch. It was good seeing you.
It. She takes a moment to kind of compose herself, and she is making eye contact as she steadies her breath before she says, "It was very good to see you, Vendar, and I do hope that you'll be safe out there. I do hope that you will thoroughly consider all of your actions before you take them."
That's why we have Lair. I will. It was a joke.
Travel safely. All of you, keep my stum brother alive.
Well, I've done it this long. And even if he dies, I can bring him back.
Hey,
Comforting.
I haven't died yet.
I can bring it back too.
He is surprisingly good at
Maybe
staying
not quite what he looks like.
Alright, hang on. I want to know what Elisa was saying.
He's surprisingly good at staying alive.
Well, the key to staying alive is not getting hit. Doesn't matter if you can take a hit when you can keep taking hits. You just gotta not get hit in the first place. And I'm pretty good at that.
Wiser words.
Very well. If you head down to the barracks, you know where it is. You've been there. And she's going to stop herself, and she's going to turn to the desk nearby, and she's going to write something on a small scrap of parchment and hold it out for you to take from her. She's not getting up from her chair.
I will go take it.
Give them that. They will give you 1 musket and 2 pistols.
Thank you very much.
Try not to blow your face off with the pistols. We've already had that happen.
I got more experience with firearms than anyone else in the army.
4 times.
I'll be careful.
Thank you. Faces are very difficult to put back together, even with magic, I am told.
Regenerate's a 6th level spell, isn't it? That's not that difficult. 7th level, I think. Never mind.
Okay.
I'll make sure it blows up my arm instead.
There are temples that have clerics capable of casting up to 9th level spells. They are rare. 5th level, much more common. 7th level, very uncommon. You were in Tuka the last time you needed a regeneration spell cast. That place is going to have anything you might need.
Yeah, if only there was someone in the party who knew that spell.
If only. Alright, so, you are dismissed. You may head back down. The champion of Bahamut is standing with 90 pounds of bags. And you see him wave and immediately turn right away from him, heading over to the barracks, where you can retrieve your guns. These seem a little bit sturdier than the guns that you used. They appear to be made of iron in the places that the other ones had been made of brass or copper, whichever it was. So you feel like it's a little less likely that you'll bend and destroy trigger mechanisms by dropping them. They're roughly the same weight, a little bit differently balanced, so a few moments just familiarizing yourself with it, at least with the musket, and you'll be able to use it proficiently. You have the proficiency for it, I believe. The pistols require a different proficiency to fire, but these are very interesting. They load the same way as the musket, but their barrel is much shorter, about a third the length of the musket. They can be stuffed in a pocket pretty easily. They weigh a third as much. You can see soldiers practicing with them, and you can see that just like with the musket and the thunder gun, a great cloud of ash is produced. And you see the people firing at targets. It's hard to tell if it's their skill level or the gun contributing more without you utilizing it yourself, but you do see that they seem to have a hard time hitting the mark with the pistols, whereas people nearby with the muskets are much more reliable. There is a veritable army of people with these weapons in here. You can see that each person is taking about 5 shots before bringing the weapon back and then taking out another weapon to go and do 5 shots, and there's stacks of these things. There's at least 50 of them in here.
5 shots?
It seems to you that these are the soldiers testing recently produced rifles.
So they like fire load 5 times?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you know that they have a generous supply of the materials if they're making sure that, if they're doing all of this to make sure that that each produced firearm is acceptable. This is effectively quality control, is what you're seeing.
You said firing fire, and I got the brief notion. I was like, have they somehow made a magazine?
Oh, no. They're firing loading 5 times. Yeah. I do apologize for being unclear there. It's not a repeating rifle yet.
Give it a horrifyingly short amount of time, though.
Yeah, they're still using the ball and powder packets, but a repeating rifle just needs somebody to figure a way to put the ball and powder packet together into one package and make a bullet.
Man, look at these things. Reckon you should have given them the thunder gun.
Now I'm quite happy with having the thunder gun just my own.
One of a kind.
Yes.
Hey, can I get some of those packets too? The gunpowder and balls?
The person who issued you the musket and pistols is going to kind of turn toward the table where they have the balls and powder packets available to the soldiers doing QC, and then stop like mid-stride and look down at the piece of parchment they have before holding it up and pointing to it and saying, "It only says I'm supposed to give you the firearms."
Well, yeah, but obviously you can't use the firearms without the gunpowder and bullets.
I mean, it's pretty clear she didn't authorize. I can give them to you for our exchange rate, but without, I don't know what, I guess Lady Drakner. Without Lady Drakner's approval, I can't simply give them to you. I can sell them to you, though.
Well, should have stipulated. That's all the now when she made that.
Woulda, shoulda, coulda. Huh? How much do they cost? How much do they cost? He's going to go and talk to the person at the table. There's going to have like a kind of close head little conference there for a moment, and then he's going to straighten up and turn towards you and say, it's 25 gold pieces to get 50 balls, and 50 gold pieces to get 50 powder packets. 75 if you want 50 of each.
75 gold.
Yes.
Alright, yeah, I'll take that. I'll give you 7 plat and 5 gold.
Okay. He seems a little surprised to be receiving such a wad of money, but he will, it's not a lot of coins, so he's able to quickly count those and hand them over to the person, and then he grabs like a canvas sack and counts off the powder packs into the canvas sack, and then he gets a smaller sack and counts off the balls into that, and then places the one sack into the other, and then hands it to you. It's quite heavy.
I think that for bags of holding. I just gotta get back to them.
Yeah, I don't remember, but I think it's half a pound per total, so it's 25 pounds to have 50 of each. So yeah, it's pretty healthy weight there. I believe you still had quite a number left, so you must have a staggering number available to you now.
Oh, did I?
Hopefully you have it written down.
And 34 left.
Okay, well, you've
When I was
almost...
out, that's why I bought more, so...
Okay. Well, it's still, now you've almost doubled that. And I know that you had lost a good amount of it to...
more than doubled it.
I was thinking wrong. Anyway, you have that. If you want nothing else with them, you can return to Yukikaze, who is still diligently watching over the bags, or you can ask for something else.
I suppose I could take some shots with the pistols, try to learn how to use them.
He's going to look to a person who seems to be dressed as a quartermaster, who seems to contemplate a moment, looks around, points to a soldier, has them come off the line, and tells you, you may fire as many as please you from here, indicating the spot that the soldier left.
Okay. How long would it take to get proficiency?
Days.
Aw.
You practiced with the musket every day for the 10 days, which is how you got the proficiency last time.
Oh, so it's not gonna get proficient. Oh well, I'm never gonna get proficient. Oh well, I'll take some shots.
Alright. Reloading is slightly less cumbersome than with the musket, just because of the shorter barrel length. You can do that a little bit more quickly. If the guns are both loaded, you find that you could hold one in each hand and fire them together, which is interesting. You could not do that with the musket. You do find that you're not proficient with these, so you have a harder time hitting your mark. The roll is effectively the same as the musket, but it has a built-in -2 to indicate its lower accuracy for having a shorter barrel.
Alright, well, I won't stay it too long then. I'll take a few shots and...
Okay, yeah, you can try a few things. Use up however much powder you want. You've got the 84 at this point. You want to go through 5? You want to go through 10?
He left his thunder gun in his bag.
He did. Might be for the best, just because you might give somebody a heart attack. How much ammo do you want to go through?
I guess there's 6 shots. I'll do 3 with each pistol.
Okay. They seem well made. There's the one thing that you notice, because it's now a handheld weapon, there isn't a shoulder stock for it, and your second hand isn't being used to hold down the barrel. You have a lot less control over the recoil of the weapon. Like, the musket always kind of kicked into your shoulder, and it wasn't so bad. But when you hold up this pistol, level it at the target, and then fire, you feel that your arm is just thrown back over your head, and it's everything you can do, not to clock yourself with the gun. Like, that'll take a little time to build up the muscle and the understanding of how it moves before you feel more comfortable with that. But you notice that this design, while conveniently small and light, has given up a lot to be this way. Recoil control and accuracy, namely.
Now, would there be any point of me having both, me dual wielding them? Because like practically in the game, I couldn't shoot both in one turn still, right?
I think, given the fact that they would both need to be loaded, I don't have a problem with, if you have both in your hands, firing the second as a bonus action, or I could be convinced to even include that as a single action attack. To fire both.
That sounds awesome. I like that.
They're expensive in the action economy, so I'm not bothered, I think, that if you were to have both already loaded and in your hands, that you could use a single action to attack with each.
Am I right to assume that being close to the target would make it easier to hit? Even with that aim?
We can talk about that. I hadn't really thought about it, and the way that D&D generally handles that is just by having close range and long range is at disadvantage. But we can certainly talk about, like, if you're right near something like 10 feet away, I might, you could ask, and I might give you just a bonus to hit. I think that's not unreasonable, just because, like I have described, they have a big powder cloud that comes out when you fire it, and that's hot. So, add that to hit. Yeah. Part of the attack. Sure. We can discuss that more in depth. But for now, that's my ruling.
Awesome. And for the pistols, should I just add the one in the equipment already? I used to say pistol or a shitload of pistols, or do you have like a homemade one?
I have not made a homemade one, so for the time being, you can placeholder with whatever's in there, and then I'll make one later and swap it in for you. Cools?
Yep.
Okay. So, you return to Yukikaze?
Yep.
Alright. Yukikaze, it's a nice day around noon. You're very familiar with the Brilliant Plaza at this point. The party just sort of left you there for, about...
Did I see them walk away from me?
Yeah, you would see them come out and then acknowledge you, and then head over to the side door, which I believe all the party members are aware is the soldiers' barracks and training area inside the Dawn Spire.
Okay. Alright, so continue your description, I apologize.
No, that's fine. Because I was going to say that, in total, they've left you out here for half an hour, 45 minutes, to have their talk and then to do their little shooting thing. Let's round it up to an hour, actually, because of up and down the tower movement. So it's about an hour in total. And it's a nice day. Like I said, it's around noon. You can see acolytes moving back and forth between the temple and the Dawnspire. You're up in the top tier of the city, looking down. You can see lots of people on the road moving about. So you can stay there with the bags, but you also can hold all the bags, so you can wander if you want.
They still haven't come back?
It'll take them. You see them come back after about a half hour, and then they disappear for another half hour.
Are the guards near me?
Ish. You don't have to be standing right next to the building if you don't want to.
Is there a bench?
Yeah, there's benches.
I'm going to be sitting at a bench.
Okay.
I'm going to have everything nice and orderly around me. And then they just see me sifting through my bag and just random things popping out, popping back in.
They're, the guards that notice you, you'll notice that they kind of will watch you, and then they'll turn away, like, back to their duty, and then they'll watch you again, and every now and then you'll see a look of surprise as something comes out and disappears. They do look, by the end of this, they look a little suspicious, a little nervous, because they don't know, like, they now know that you have magic here, and they don't know what it's going to do, or if you're going to use it against them, so they look a little nervous.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna smile and wave at him and keep going.
They kind of give you that, like, nervous nod back, like they acknowledge, but they're concerned. After the next half hour, the party comes back out of the barracks. Vendar, I assume, has laden himself down with all of the guns.
Yes, I will come and I will put the pistols in the bag of holding for now.
Alright, you find him on the bench, and you are able to get your bags of holding back.
Oh, and of course the bullets, those also go in the bag of holding.
Ah, yes. Luckily you now have your own bag of holding.
Yes.
No more asking Leah permission to put stanky-ass bags of powder in.
Yes, I remember the stank. I'm used to the stank. I got purple worm stank, I got nitrous stank, I got...
You're the one bag, like, you open it and immediately this visible odor cloud kind of emanates from it.
Home.
It is, it's nasty. It's straight out of Ed, Edd and Eddy.
I think the Vendar doesn't have a very good sense of smell anymore.
I just feel like Vendar opening his bag is required to be accompanied by the foghorn of a ship. That's the one. Which is American shorthand for stanky stuff.
Yeah, I get it.
Alright. Yeah. It's a nice day. It's about 1 p.m. now.
Those guys been up with me, right?
Huh?
Those guys been up with me, right?
Yeah. They just met up with you and took their bags back from you, as long as you give them back.
Why don't you just come out and walk the other way? Like, were you done earlier?
The guns. You see my arm full of guns.
Well, you could have, like, said you were going there. You kind of just left me in the dark here.
Thanks for holding our bags, champion of Bahamut.
Okay.
Lifting the bags.
I don't know why you had to say it like that, but...
He's obviously fishing for you to call him champion of Cord.
Well,
his sister was quite taken aback when we told her our champion of Bahamut
was watching
holding
the
our bags.
I'm a pretty responsible person. Considering what's in these bags, I have no problem with that.
And you don't even know half the shit I got in there.
Exactly. Especially, well, actually, I know something you got in there. And I don't want anyone to get a hold of.
What's that? In the parole poison?
Maybe.
I got some new stuff that's real nasty.
Yeah, exactly why I stayed to watch the bags. I don't think anyone should be holding these anyone other than us. Anyways, long story short, got it. Let's go.
The whole day is ahead of you. It's only 1 p.m. now.
Yeah, we're in no rush. It's still like 13 hours, 12 hours before he's done.
12, yeah. 12 hours.
I'm already here. I'm gonna go.
That means I know gas.
In case I need to use it in the interval.
Oh, well, it's not prepared. So,
Couldn't even.
I couldn't
know
use it. But I am going to add it to my spell list.
Lovely.
Alright, well, I think since I'm in town, I might as well go say hi to my family. They're there.
To pet? To pet? Say hi to your pet family?
Wow.
What? I just my family. I should go say hi to my family. I don't know where the pet came from. I don't think I said that.
Okay. Very well. If that is what you wish to do, Vendar, which is this Ewok, will head over to Boar Hunter Lodge.
I'm so glad that Ewoks got to make a return.
All right. You head up to Boar Hunter Lodge. The others, I'm kind of assuming, are gonna hang at the bench with Yukikaze, unless you tell me you want to go with him to Boar Hunter.
Nah, Raiken will stay with Yukikaze.
Yeah, same.
Roughly, I would recommend got time to kill. So we find somewhere to spar, Raiken.
What? You want to spar?
Well,
Yes, let's do it.
we probably get as much training in as we can and practice before we just.
I love this plan.
So let's see. Why don't we when you go to Boar Hunter, we're gonna go find a place to spar and just work on our battle tactics.
I imagine, so you're like at the bench when you said like want to find a place to spar, and he says spar as he says spar, he just into the armor. He just like with like a fist pumped.
Well, I feel like for the reaction of Michelangelo out of the sewer and Ninja Turtles.
Hey, Raiken, do you want us to pop this one neutral? No. Wait, the other thing. Yes.
A tear comes to Raiken's eyes. Like, I thought you'd never ask.
So yeah. Well, why don't anyone else want to go with us, or you guys gonna chill some results?
He isn't a bad man. Neat.
Because we could also talk strat with like working together and tactics wise for positioning and whatnot in combat.
Where are you guys going to spar?
Trying to think. Did we run across anything last time we were here, or do you have a recommendation to remind me?
Yes.
I mean, there's a Temple of Court, isn't there?
Yes, that would have been my recommendation, so yes.
Yes,
That would have been Raiken's recommendation.
It's everybody's recommendation.
I know just the place.
If you finish and I'm not with you, then come back here. Otherwise, I'll meet you there.
Alright, that sounds like a plan.
Alright, you two will head down to the lower tier.
Well, just us two, or anyone else coming?
Leah, Jebel,
If they look puzzled, I'll be like, we could talk battle strat with like distancing, with because Raiken has skills and I have skills to protect you guys versus certain things. Good idea of like movement, or if we want to discuss any of that kind of stuff, or I guess Raiken and I will just duke it out.
Yeah, I guess I don't have anything better to do.
Yeah.
You can watch your dad get all sweaty.
Okay, now you made me less interested.
You guys, it makes a little chuckle.
Why did you zoom in so much on the Ewok?
because no one can stop me. Alright, so
Alright.
I guess those two are going to hang out up here in the nice, sunny, brilliant plaza. Very well. Raiken and Yukikaze, you head down to the lower tier of the city. You've been around this city quite a lot recently, so you have no trouble finding the Temple of Cord, especially since Raiken had gone there recently to train and show off the armor. I keep forgetting it's over on this one.
There's an extra hop in Raiken's step.
He's really happy. Let's see here. Clear. Right, this is where Isafril is. But was not there someone else? Alright, so the main named person is Isafril, who is the cleric of Cord. She's a tiefling. She has purpley red skin and orange eyes. And she will come to the entrance to the temple, which is this... It's got these medium height walls and wrapping a training yard. It's roughly approximated by this token that I selected a long time ago. And then a building off to the side where the cleric and acolytes stay, those of them that live at the temple. And so, you know, these big wooden doors will swing open, and an acolyte will greet you. He'll see the armor of Cord and get very excited and call for the temple cleric, and Isafril will come over. And she will look you up and down, and you'll hear her audibly sigh, and she says, "I don't suppose that you're here to tell me that you finally remembered how you got the armor?"
Nope.
Guys, that's gonna chuckle.
Nope. I do not remember. He might know.
She's going to turn immediately to Yukikaze with a hopeful look on her face. "Do you know how he got this armor?"
Oh, there's no reason not to tell you. It's not like it's let's just say the Lich was guarding it and trying to destroy it, and we liberated it.
I
So, like,
see.
this person probably wants the big, huge, epic story about this thing, and he's like, well, I mean, the short version is there was a lich. There's no longer a lich. He's got the armor. So.
And how did you know to go and fight this lich?
Hold on, I'm trying to remember motivation for going there.
Make a history check.
I think it was for a skill, wasn't it, Tristan?
Nope.
No, what was that?
No, it was specifically for the armor.
Make a history check.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a history check. I'm getting my dice. They're right above me. Oh, which dice feel? Which dice feel lucky today? I guess we'll do my spark.
Your bluest ones.
No, this
These
is,
lucky ones.
this is my astral projection ones.
Okay.
Apparently, failed me hardcore.
Because they weren't the bluest ones you have.
It was a 2.
I have no memory.
Oh, this is actually pretty good.
You're just like Raiken. When did you talk to a fire?
It's spreading.
I want to say, well, it's just the armor core. So, there was a lot going on. I don't fully remember why we headed there, but we headed some ancient ruins to do a thing, and then
The thing was to find the...
It was literally to find the armor. I feel like Raiken would at least still know this.
I believe that you only gave up from the time that you got into the desert. That's where you
Yeah.
started your story.
well, I forget how we
was like a third of our journey looking for that armor.
Oh wait, yeah, that's right. Didn't we go somewhere and he was told that the armor's failing?
Well, Dahlia gave us several locations, and that was one of the locations.
You were the one who helped narrow that down, because of all the locations out there in the desert was one that your people called the Forbidden Desert. And she was like, well, I don't know art, but I know what I like, and that sounds enticing.
Yeah, but for us even to start someone told us that it was failing and it was going away.
Yes, so he's got most of the story there. The piece he's missing is that the reason Nalia brought this information to you is because she was working with the Temple of Cord in Volinar. So a bunch of clerics were there talking to her and impressing upon her the importance of finding this artifact, and she was consulting with them, using her magic to help them find it. And she came to you and said, you guys are adventurers, you can go and explore things. I've got 5 ideas about where this thing might be. The temple really wants it back. Here are my ideas. And that's when Yukikaze, you had chimed in and said, well, out there in Toralos is the Forbidden Desert. My tribe stays the hell away from there. It's where all the storms congregate. And she went, wow, if I wanted to hide a powerful artifact, that sounds like the perfect place to stick it. These other ones, still good options, I would start there. And that's how you guys ended up on the... Like, she said, go and find it for the temple. Give me a good reputation with the temple by doing this for me.
So, technically, if it wasn't for Yukikaze, you might have chose the wrong place, and we would have lost the armor.
I think people really liked the idea of tossing it into the middle of the inner sea at its deepest point, and the other one was a volcano.
Alright, so
It would have been hard.
with a 2, though, I wouldn't remember all that, though.
But Raiken remembers most of that.
Oh, up until getting it, so.
Yeah, Raiken's able to remember the stuff that he said.
You only needed to remember the end.
He has forgotten getting into the desert and getting the armor.
Like, I looked for it a long time, and then suddenly I had it, and I didn't question it.
I remember that place pretty well. That's where freaking Ibumaru and Sumaru got damaged.
Yeah, there was a lot of acid there.
So, all right. Well, I'll give the cleric what information I didn't know.
She will take this in, and she seems very attentive to any and all detail you can give. And at the end of your story, you'll see that she is listening with eyes shut, and she will make eye contact with you and say, "Thank you. I am sorry your friend does not seem able to remember any of this."
Oh, that's because he is a very, let's say, so since the champion of Cord, he's very energetic about Cord, and he pedals too much is the wrong person.
She, you see her jaw working as she's trying to
Okay, well,
find
the
the
name
way.
of the doesn't matter. He talked to a fae and screwed himself over.
She seems much more troubled now that you've told her it was a fae.
Hey, I'm just being honest.
I know. I'm just telling you that fae trouble people.
Yeah, I know they do.
I get worried when they hear that word.
And it also makes them understand how it could happen.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, how do you just forget part of your life?
Very well.
Jeb will reincarnate you. No.
Well. I do hope that this has been an educational experience for you. And I suppose now it is my turn to ask. If you did not come here originally to give me this story, how can the temple help you?
We got a great task in front of us, so we just want to do some sparring because we're waiting for our wizard to learn some spells.
Very well. The temple is, of course, always open and welcoming to the champion of Cord. We would never refuse you, even if you could not give me the story. But
I appreciate that.
I will ask if you wish to have the use of my acolytes for your training, or if you wish only to train with each other.
So, Raiken, what I'm thinking about starting off is full armor, full weapons. Well, sparring weapons, but shield and full armor for me. Going at it as much as we can. I need to practice more with shield because I haven't used one in forever, other than our recent combats. So I want to increase my proficiency with it. And after that, I want to do some training with no armor at all. Strong strikes to the body, condition myself to impacts. And then I'd like to borrow the acolytes for tag team with the two of us versus as many people as you got, just to work on our coordination with each other. That's what I'm thinking.
In the name of Cord, we can, of course, accommodate this.
This is gonna be the best spar of all time!
Acolytes of Avandra come over to start taking bets. The temple's right next door specifically for this reason.
They're like rats, but we make money off of them, so we let them stay.
Leah is just filing her nails.
Did she go to observe, or is she up in the nice, sunny, brilliant plaza still?
I guess she would follow along.
Ooh.
She's just not paying much attention.
Ho. Jebel. Jebel is the only one who has remained in the brilliant plaza besides Vendar himself, it seems. Yeah.
Is the loneliest number that you'll ever know.
You guys have a good time training. You start warming up. Yuki is practicing giving orders as well as practicing with his shield. You lead the acolytes and the tag team stuff. You get a lot of opportunity to practice your inspiring speech stuff. Feels pretty good.
Raiken tries to pummel the crap out of him.
Probably is able to do it a bit too.
Well, equally. He's not that.
I'm not saying you're not giving as good as you're getting. I'm just saying that you guys, you're going at it.
I believe we both have almost max strength.
Raiken, what's your strength?
22.
I forget
Yeah, it's
what.
almost.
Well, actually, that's more than me. Because I forgot. I thought like 20 was the max for what again?
20 is the max for natural stat progression. Magic items can, but very often do not, push it beyond that.
Oh, okay. So items push it beyond 20. So you can't put like points from your leveling up into it if it's already at 20.
Correct.
Okay. So I was right. Okay.
Yeah, so if you're at 20, you're at max for natural. The only way to go beyond that is with magic items.
Okay.
Or be a
So,
barbarian.
he does give me a little bit because he's got a little more oomph to some of his hits, which is why I'm doing this.
Alright, you get your training on, and Leah, I think you've got a good book you can read.
I gotta go to the bathroom. Be right back.
Yep, that's fine. I'm going to switch over to Vendar. Vendar, you go to see your mother. You approach Boar Hunter Lodge, and you make your call there. One of the servants recognizes you and welcomes you immediately into the building, and goes to fetch your mother. Lady Kalok comes down, and as with your sister, seems quite surprised to see you. You've only been gone a couple of days. And as she approaches you in the hallway, arms outstretched to embrace you, she's going to say, "Oh, Vendar, I'm surprised you're here. You seem to have so much on your plate. You can't be done already. Did you already save the world?"
Unfortunately, no. We're waiting for Laromendis to learn some spells, and that takes a while, so we're just kind of going about. I thought I'd update Lilith on everything that's happened, so I was in town, wanted to see you.
I see. Well, she releases you from the hug and says, "I'm always happy to have you here, dear. Are you hungry? Do you need any snacks? I can have the kitchen make something for you."
We just ate before I came here.
I see. You look a little tired.
It's been a bit of a long day. We've been teleporting about it, so...
Oh. Well, it's only 1 o'clock. That must be a
we
very busy day.
We just spent most of a day in Dicoscelthus and then in Tuka. And then we came here, and it's like 6 hours ahead of you here, so it was evening where we left.
Oh. Wow. Your father dealt more with magicians than I did, so I really hadn't even considered that you might have already spent an entire day's worth of time someplace else, and then... Oh. My little world traveler. That sounds very exciting. Well, how are the others? Is everyone still okay? You haven't had to fight any dragons yet, have you?
Well, we haven't fought any. We did run into a few, but we ended up just talking to them.
They talk.
They're quite intelligent.
No, I'm... Oh, dear, I'm sorry. I've never involved myself in that life, but I didn't imagine that they would bother talking to people. Just eat them or whatnot.
That's generally true. But they talk to us.
Huh. What did you talk about? What does one talk about with a dragon?
It's about the whole state of the world and fighting the dragons, and it's very complicated and dangerous.
I see. Well, I'm glad you were able to speak to a dragon and be safe about it.
Yes, it was very intimidating, but...
I don't think I could have done it myself, so... You impress me, Vendar. You always did. Very capable.
Certainly done a lot more in the last few months than I ever thought I would.
Well, for better or worse, that'll be over soon, right?
Hopefully, yeah, we're about to do the final confrontation.
Well, do it well, and come back safe. If I can't offer you any food... My masseur is here. Would that help you?
I wouldn't say no to a massage.
I can introduce you.
Your friends are beating each other up. You're getting a massage.
I'm a noble.
God damn it, why didn't Leah follow him?
Leah could have gotten the massage! She introduces you to a youthful-looking half-elf man with kind eyes. He introduces himself as Delwyn, and says that he's not helped you before, so he'll just give you the basic package and see what he finds.
So this is gonna be one of those classic cartoon moments where like she gets the attractive one and you get like the bulky big guy that crushes your bones.
Well, there's just the one, and so they would be taking turns. She's already had her session with him, or at least that's what she'll tell you. She, gives him the money for another session. She parts with it very easily. And you get to spend some time with Delwyn here. General massage talk. He's once he gets you on the table, he's sort of just going over your back, your arms, your legs, and okay, we got some tension here. Oh, there's a good knot right there, and then he, once he kind of maps it out, he doesn't really start to work on any one thing until he kind of gets in this, assesses everything that's going on, and then he really starts to, get in there, knuckles, fingers, thumbs, elbows, and it's, overall, extraordinarily pleasant. But, there are those moments where he's really working on a knot, and it's horrifically painful. And before it's, oh my gosh, it's so good. The whole time, he's making small talk, kind of asking, what you do that would cause such, muscle strain, remarking on your physique, how you must train regularly. He can see the particular, what muscle groups you've worked more than others, and notes that, you have arms like an archer.
I am, in fact, an archer.
I know my muscles, he would say. I actually I get a lot of my income from the crown, working on the soldiers. So I can tell the difference now, just by sight and touch, between a swordsman and an archer.
You certainly are good at your job.
Thank you. I certainly charge enough that I better be good, right? He tries to joke with you. He makes small talk. Do you tell him about your adventuring and fighting monsters and things?
Sure, I won't go into too much detail. I won't give anything or a plan away, but I'll talk about the adventures we've had.
So you'll leave off all, like, the dragon stuff and just talk about, like,
Yeah, I'll talk
the
about
fights.
earlier stuff, like the fights with the necromancer and shit.
Ah, yes. And he will tell you how he remembers those times before and leading up to the invasion of Bromdor, the invasion by Bromdor, that is to say, how the country was already in a dark and tumultuous place, dealing with the dead rising, all across the central band of the nation. How, he had been... At the time, he travels between towns, and he had actually been over in Elazon during the zombie problems. And that's when he kind of stops and says, You fought the necromancer that was causing the problems.
We did.
Did you have a group? Friends, other fighters with you?
There was another mercenary group that aided us in the fight with the necromancer. I'll give them the name. What was the name?
The Sons of the Imminent Dawn.
The Sons of the Imminent Dawn.
Okay, so you're not one of the Sons of the Imminent Dawn.
No, I'm a part of the Voice of Change. Voice of Change.
The Voice of Change.
The Voice of Change.
Huh. Interesting. I don't recognize that one. I swear it was Order of the Sacred Flame.
That's what we used to be. Then we're rebranding.
So that was you.
That was us, yes.
I heard the stories. He says you can kind of hear, his voice kind of changes. He's really kind of excited to be able to tell this story, to be talking to somebody that he's heard stories about. You know, when you were moving in through Tristram, through Elazon, onto the capital here. They said that it was a fearful group of fighters led by a dragonborn riding a tiger.
Oh, that would be Raiken. He does. He has a tiger that he rides.
You know, I really, I really wanted to meet that group at the time. You know, that was just the coolest story back then. And that could be just because of how dark things seemed. You guys were a real light. You made a lot of people happy.
We've been trying to make a difference.
Back then, it wasn't that long ago, was it?
It was,
It's only a couple of months.
yeah. Time passes weirdly, depending on what's going on. But things are much different for him now than they were at the time that he's talking about. The problem was zombies just suddenly rising from their graves and attacking towns. It started off with farms, That seems like such a distant problem when in between you had the invasion of an army from Bromdor and then dragons and then all these other things that happened. Like, even if it wasn't a long time ago, it was a lot of events ago. It was a lot of changes to the world as he knew it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, yeah, you're right. It wasn't a long time ago, but man, it was a different world. And so, yeah, I at the risk of sounding like a fan, it's a real pleasure to meet you, Vendar, and hear about the exploits of your group.
Well, it's been a pleasure to meet you too.
And he's saying all this basically to the back of your head while you're laying on the table, and he continues to work your muscles. So all of these call and responses are punctuated with him working knots out. And by the end, spending about an hour on this, I was going to say, well, you're certainly, don't tell your mother, but you're definitely my favorite client for today.
That was an interesting talk.
I love a chance to help you with these knots again in the future. A profession such as yours, I'm sure, will mean you need regular maintenance.
I don't often get it, but I do spend a fair amount of time at Everwatch. I'll make sure to look you up next time I'm here.
Well, you definitely deserve it. Cool. Well, your mother has my name, and if you need to contact me urgently, I can be reached through the Crown. You might see me around town servicing other people, so say hey. Maybe we can get a drink later if you're still in town.
Probably not tonight, but I'll look you up next time I'm here.
All right. Well, hopefully, he just, he's allowed you to sit up at this point, so you can speak eye to eye, and he just sort of waves his hand, kind of gesturing to all of your body. That serves you well. And if so, blame it on me.
It was very good, thank you.
He and does a curt bow, a very flashy hand up in the air, and says, a pleasure to help clients who can be counted on, such as yourself, Master Drakner. And anyway, I wish you a good rest of your day, and I'm sorry you'll be missing that drink later, but next time, and he leaves through the door, and you hear your mother find him in the hallway, and he says, yes, your son was a perfect patient, as it were. I hope that I will have a chance to help him again in the future. Your patronage is always appreciated, Lady Kalok. Adieu, adieu, I shall see you again ere long. And you hear the doors close. You can hear him, giving similar lip service to servants that he passes by. He seems to be a very friendly person. Delwyn. Add that to my list o' names. Okay. So at that point, your mother comes back in and says, so, was he as good as I said?
He was. It was exactly what I needed. I feel you have no idea how hard it's been. I didn't even realize it myself.
You feel rested, like you could go another 8 hours, almost like you haven't already had as long a day as you have. That was just what you needed. So, if you decide to stay up much longer, you will not need to make constitution checks to do so.
Boss?
She said,
What?
No, I'm sorry, I thought I heard somebody speak up. She says, well, then, what else can I tell you about? Oh, your brother has been working on his cooking, and it's really coming along, but it's only been 2 days, so, not a whole lot, to say there.
I'm glad that he's doing better.
I'd recommend you go see him,
working.
but I honestly think that it would be a lot for him.
Yeah, since I'm just about to leave again, so
Yeah.
make sure to give him my love, but I think I'll have to not see him this time.
Yeah, and it's fine. He's come so far with your help, and, with the help of the doctor. Oopsie. So, no, you needn't feel bad. I honestly do think it will just be better for him that he not, get excited, only to have you, leave again so quickly. But yes, is there anything else I can... Is there anything else I can do for you while you're in town?
Thank you, Mother. And that was wonderful, but I shouldn't keep my friends waiting. We have a lot to do in the next few days.
Alright. Well, I know we already said goodbye just the other day, but you still have all my love, and I hope you don't get hurt in this thing with the dragons. Please come back safe. I honestly was concerned that I was saying goodbye to you for the last time. Now I'm a little, all my emotions are all over the place.
I'm sorry, but I will come back, I promise.
But it is, don't get me wrong, it's always good to see you, Vendar. And I hope that you got along with your sister.
Very much so.
Good. I'm so glad you mended that bridge. Alright, then, fine. As you say, you need to get back to your friends. I'll walk you to the door. Thank you for visiting, and I'm really happy that Delwyn could help you.
Thank you. And I love you, Mother.
I love
Bye.
you too, Vendar. Take care.
See you
Be
again
safe.
soon.
Don't die out there. You're not allowed to.
I wouldn't dare violate that.
Good. Good. She will give you a quick kiss on the forehead and wave to you from the door. I believe Jebel is still seated on the bench. Yes?
Possibly.
Quite possibly. Is there something else you might have done?
Not yet. No.
Okay. It's been about an hour that he went and hung out with his mother. You saw a half-elf leave in the meantime, and then shortly thereafter Vendar comes out. So yes, you approach Jebel, who is alone on the bench. It seems that Aaliyah has abandoned him.
Didn't go with him. Didn't want to watch him fight.
No, I don't care about that.
Would you like to go find them now, or is there something you two want to do in town?
Do you think the Mages Guild sells stuff?
I know the mages can sell stuff.
Let's go to the Mages Guild.
Vendar, your voice changed.
Sorry.
Vendar is just possessed by a god for just that moment.
Every moment.
Divine intervention.
You have plenty of residuum on you, right?
Decent amount.
How much is a decent?
56,340 gold pieces worth.
It's a lot. That would be plenty. I was gonna do this on the way back to teleport, but I'm fine with doing it now, and we can meet up with them after.
Very well.
Yeah.
You head to the Mages Guild. It's about 2 in the afternoon. It takes you about 10 minutes to walk there from the Brilliant Plaza. As you head inside, as it's one of those, the guild is just open for people to come and go out the front door. You do see that there are a couple people who are speaking with the Archmage and another person who is dressed in guild clothing, who you don't recognize. They excuse themselves to a curtained-off area to the side with the not the Archmage, and the Archmage Theron Ethian, seats himself behind the counter here, and then looks up to see that you have entered the building. He, adjusts his glasses and looks a bit weary. He says, you're back. Here to teleport again?
Not quite yet. But we are looking to see if you have some ingredients
We
you
have
might be able to purchase.
the reagents for many different possible spells. What are you looking for in particular, and how much?
What did we need for the bottled night?
Oh my god.
Oh, what did we need?
You needed several ingredients. Some are easier to procure than others, and you weren't certain yet on the exact brewing methodology.
Oh yeah, some of them are unknown as of yet.
Yes, there are a couple of known, but you do have a known list as well, so you can ask
And
him
might as well be prepared.
about those. And as you list these off to him, at first he was simply listening, expecting to be able to say, yes, I've got ingredients for this spell or that spell, expecting you to tell him a spell. And then you didn't. And so, after the first couple ingredients come out, you see him frantically looking for something to write with. And he pulls out a sheet of parchment and inks a quill and begins scratching down. And finally, as you finish your not terribly long list, but definitely eclectic, he looks it over and says, well, there are certainly a few of these ingredients that I should Yes, they're interesting. These are not spell reagents. Do you mind if I ask what it is you're trying to accomplish? Because these are odd, and some of them you seem to be more than capable of fetching out there on your own. But then you have water from the algae lake in the Feywild.
Yeah, it's for an alchemical potion.
Huh. Interesting. Well, that particular one, the water from the algae lake in the Feywild, I don't have on me. I can arrange for its procurement, but it will take time and money. Are you all right with that?
I think we can deal with that.
Very
How
well.
much
Well, I
time
think
do
we
you?
need to know.
Well, I need to get in touch with my contacts in the Feywild. I need to remember where exactly the algae lake is. I think that it can be accessed quickly via the university perpendicularity, but if not, then it could take longer. So, let's say a healthy estimate, if everything aligns perfectly with my very vague memory of that part of the Feywild, 3 days. If things don't line up quite with how I'm hoping they will, 7 days.
Oh, as long as the world hasn't ended, we can come back after.
Should the world have ended in 7 days?
You don't need to be concerned about it.
Oh, you never know.
If this is about the dragon thing, I thought we had that covered.
Provided
We're
it
covering
works.
it.
You both spoke at the same time, and I understood neither of you.
It was just some gallows
That'll
humor.
happen.
Everything is taken care of as long as we succeed.
And Jebel?
I forgot what I said, so
Oh.
it's okay.
I think you said we're taking care of it.
You? As long as you succeed?
Well, us, our group, and the armies that are also they're fighting.
Oh, okay, so you're working with the champion of Bahamut then.
Yes, we're part of his group.
Ah, good to know. Excellent. Well, you had me quite worried there. I mean, it's quite a lot of firepower being gathered. I would shudder to think that it's not enough.
Have you ever fought a dragon? They are very, very tough.
I mean, I've fought a young dragon, yes. And then parent showed up, and I was forced to flee. But that was during my younger days. Yes, they are formidable, but you're talking probably 10,000 soldiers and guns. I find
Hopefully it'll be enough.
I find it hard to believe, even as a magician myself, that these creatures, even near gods, could stand up to such a united force.
Well, I certainly hope you're right, but there are a lot of them, and they are some of the oldest dragons who've ever lived.
It's true. But they were defeated once before, 1,000 years ago. So,
We'll just make sure it happens again.
well, if the powers that be within the guild deem that we can involve ourselves in this endeavor, then you shall have the power of the mages. On top of 10,000 soldiers with guns, I think our odds are quite good. Those dragons were defeated by, what? A paladin of Bahamut and his wizard friend 1,000 years ago? We can muster that. He seems quite confident at this point. He seems like he's been either listening to or talking to people involved in this endeavor, and he has put his faith there.
Okay.
Any event. So, those are the timelines. Either way, I will be requiring the water itself. Probably wouldn't be terribly valuable on its own, but transit will be difficult, and getting it to you quickly is difficult. Oh, let's call that 200 gold pieces.
Hey, is there anything else you were looking for, Jebel?
We lost Jebel.
No!
Perfect timing.
So, is there anything else you want, Vendor?
I also want to trade some residuum for money.
Want to trade some residuum for money? Okay. For all of the ingredients, 200 gold pieces plus another 10, so 210 gold pieces to get the ingredients that you've already listed for him. How did you want to pay for those? Did you want to pay for it out of the residuum? Okay. And, we'll get his way in when he reappears, but how much money did you want to get for residuum? So, not including the 210, what kind of pocket change did you want to exchange?
You had 56,000 gold pieces, right?
Yeah, 56,000 and some.
I was thinking 1,000.
1,000, okay. So 1,000 gold pieces, or 100 platinum. Okay, he's back online, he's back here. Alright, Jebel, what you missed is, the Archmage has quoted Vendar 210 gold pieces price for all of the ingredients that you currently know for the bottled night potion. And then Vendar said he was also interested in a straight-up exchange of residuum for cash. Okay, so
Excellent.
since he's proposing using your residuum to accomplish all of this, A, are you okay with that?
How much did you say?
210 gold pieces for the listed ingredients that you know for the bottled night potion.
Yeah, okay.
And then he proposed a straight exchange residuum for petty cash, and he's thinking 1,000 GP worth. Are you okay with that?
Okay. So that's 1,210.
Yes.
Have we traded him residuum before?
Laromendis did. Which will be brought up here momentarily.
I was thinking maybe I could convince him it's worth more than it is.
So, you're going to propose this exchange. Jebel is okay with it. So, when you say that you wish to pay for the ingredients in residuum and also exchange residuum for cash, you are going to, you're going to see Theron Ethian kind of light up a little bit. He looks excited. He says, "Oh, excellent. I had had a chance to determine its intrinsic value with the help of your Professor Laromendis before. So I have my scales at the ready, and I can measure out exactly what you need."
Excellent.
I will say, Vendar might want to try to negotiate in that this is like there is the intrinsic like monetary worth of this, comparing it to like diamond dust.
If I can,
And then there's
I
the fact that it's so
absolutely wanna up the
rare.
price.
I don't know
I
if
want to
it
get as
would
much
work.
money as I possibly can. Can I roll persuasion?
You may.
Net 20! I got 26, or 36, I mean.
That's just rude.
That is, in fact, quite rude. Well, he got a 19 on die.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
A little more than half of what I got. Well, that's just on die.
I don't think he's got a 16 plus, but
Yeah, he doesn't get that 16.
he's no slouch either. I'll say, of course, I suppose there is the consideration that it's a particularly rare and malleable material. It's not just gold. Very well. I am willing to go as high as an additional 50% in value.
Alright, sounds like we have a deal.
Very good. It's always a pleasure working with you, Voice of Change. If you please, the pouch. My scale is over here. I can measure it out, and you can see me do it so you know what you're getting.
Javel. Oh, like gesture.
Yep, I'll get it out.
He will take the pouch from you, and you will see him pouring out a small pile of the stuff onto the onto his scale, and then adding and removing small lead weights from the other side until the tray perfectly balances. And once there, he will start moving powder back into the bag until it rebalances at a new, smaller amount, which he will very carefully take a... He's doing all of this on a little sheet of parchment on top of the tray, so he's able to just pour back into the bag, and then you'll see him carefully fold the sheet of parchment around it and make a note with a quill pen that reads 1000 GP on it. Before he knots your bag and hands it back to you, and then goes to the reaches down below the counter, and you can hear coins being counted off. Whereupon he counts off 150 platinum coins and slides the piles over the desk to you, and then makes a note in a ledger. He adjusts his glasses one more time with his finger of one hand before sighing and saying, "Is there anything else I can help you with today, gentlemen?"
We paid for the ingredients too, right? Anyway, I think we're
Yes.
good for now.
I'm not.
He took both
I
amounts.
didn't come here for. I didn't come here for
Money.
chemical
Right,
stuff.
you
I
were gone when I asked.
Yes, that's true. So, the question had been asked, but it will be repeated now. Asking you what you want to do.
I came here to see if they had any items.
Items.
Magical items.
Magical items.
You want to hold on to any of this plat, or I can just take it all. I'll just take it all.
The Archmage will perk up a little bit, seemingly enticed by the prospect of getting more residuum, and say, "Well, magical items are quite rare, and the ones that aren't legendarily storied or lost to the sands of time, as it were, tend to be underwhelming? I can show you what I have. I just, and he kind of wiggles his fingers at your apparel and visible weapons. I'm not certain that you'll be impressed.
Oh, you never know.
Very good. He will gesture that you follow him, and he moves to the second level of the building, and uses a key to open a door there inside. You can see that there are, arcane runes and magical symbols all over the walls here that all sort of have this kind of a pulsing rainbow glow to them, an almost oil slick kind of quality to their look as you move, and as you watch them, the glimmer and the colors seem to pulse and move. Clearly, they are some form of active ward. But within the room, it is rather nicely furnished, if lacking windows. He snaps, and some magical torches come alight with soft blue flames, revealing to you several, like, those table cabinets. They're like a table with a, what are they? They've got like the glass cover over the top that can be unlocked and opened. Display cases.
Yeah.
There are several of those in here, and they each contain a single item. You see one on a like a velvety pad has a ring wrought in what looks like black iron, with a red jewel on top. You see a cloak, like a traveler's cloak, that sort of has a bit of a shimmer to it on one side, on the exposed side of it. You will see a pair of boots, like work boots, thick-soled, good leather stock there. And you will see a dagger that kind of has like a swept curve to its blade, and a ring on the pommel.
I'll start at 1, and I'll ask him what it is.
Okay. Give me just a moment to actually write things down so that I know what I told you later. Okay. He will indicate one at a time and tell you, well, according to our study of these items, as they have come to us from scholars around the world over many years' collection, these are the ones that were worth keeping. The black ring with the ruby on top, you see there. That is one that we have been referring to as the ring, the ring of heavy striking is what we've been calling it. What we have found is that when a fighter uses it, their blows are lended the extra weight of strength. In layman's terms, they can dish out even more damage with their strikes.
Okay. That wouldn't require attunement.
Each of these items that I have here does require attunement in order to function, yes. We have, as I said, come into possession of many items over the years, and these were the ones that seemed worth keeping. The pattern that we have noticed is that items that require attunement before their magic function tend to be more powerful, more useful, because they're tailored to the user in a way. They become intrinsic. Sometimes you can find the odd trinket that doesn't require attunement and is still quite useful. Those either...
Oh yeah, we have at least one of those.
But they are rarer, is where I was going with that. We have had some of those in our collection. They're usually the ones that people would pay for. They also were ones that we were willing to give over to the university because there wasn't a market for them. The cloak there. We call that dragon scale cloak. As far as we can tell, when you wear it, the cloak seems to turn into dragon scales, and gives you some elemental protection.
Okay.
I've picked my theme for these. The boots there. Actually quite nice. They increase the speed and also the endurance of the wearer. We have found that when a person is attuned to them, they are able to move faster a bit for as long as they wear them, but also that when they're working awake a long period of time, they had more energy to do so.
That's interesting. How much faster?
Well, it seemed to depend on the person, but in game mechanics terms, it is proficiency over 2 squares. So for you, it would increase all your movement speed by 15 feet.
So I could run 90 feet with a dash?
It would improve your speed, so yeah.
That sounds nice.
Wait,
I
what's
assume...
proficiency over 2 squares?
Yes.
What does that mean?
Whatever your proficiency modifier is, so for you guys, 6, you divide it by 2, 3, and add that to the number of squares you can normally move, which, for a standard race, is 6. For you, as a gnome, it's 5. So, but it would add, but more understandably in 5th edition terms, it's adding 5 feet per proficiency modifier divided by 2 to your move speed. So 15 feet at this level.
Why just give them instant transmission?
And when you say it increases the endurance, I assume that's a constitution bonus?
Yes. In mechanical terms, it gives you advantage on constitution saving throws against exhaustion.
Okay. It's not like a plus to con.
No.
How much you asking for him?
Well, these are quite powerful little items here, and you won't find them anywhere else. We have good records of what items come and go from the guild, so I can assure you that these are unique. Perhaps not as impressive as the armor of Bahamut, but they're powerful in their own right. I would say that I couldn't let any of these go for less than 7,500 GP.
It's a lot.
Yes. Magic items? Very rare. And the guild has only more recently come into the knowledge that they can be produced by mortals with reliability. Most of the ones that we find here, we suspect were produced by mortals, but the art hadn't been perfected.
Asking for 750 plat.
Indeed. Or
I don't
the
know.
equivalent in residuum.
It's your residuum, so it's up to you, Jebel, but I'm not going to push for boots of that.
Given our negotiations earlier, it would only be 75% if you use residuum to pay for it.
Let's see what else he has first.
The last one is the dagger.
What's up with the dagger?
What did the ring do again?
In mechanical terms, the ring allows you to add your proficiency modifier, your proficiency score as damage to weapon attacks.
Oh, right. Oh, I forgot. I forgot that you said what the ring.
Yeah, that was the
yes,
heavy
yes.
striking ring.
Yeah.
The dagger, I've been calling the Swift Strike dagger. It's a particularly light blade that, once attuned, seems to give the wielder this extraordinary sense of muscle control. It turns any attack action. It adds one attack to any attack action.
So you attack with the dagger, you'd attack twice.
If your attack action is normally one attack, you would have two attacks.
Right. But if you were like Yuki, then you could attack like 4 times.
Right. And it is, of course, a magic weapon, and therefore more useful against creatures that are resistant to mundane attacks. These are the 4 valuable items that I can offer you that I think you would be interested in.
I think we'll ask Raiken or Yukikaze if they have room. That they might find that ring interesting.
Yeah, I was thinking if Yuki didn't just buy the other one, then he might be interested in that.
And just for the player's knowledge, it would be 750 plat to obtain one of these items, or 5625 worth of residuum. Also, it's 10:30.
Interesting.
So, I will post these where you can see them, and you can think about them until next time.
Really wouldn't mind that speed, but it's a lot of money for just a little bit faster.
Are you only
That's a
using
fair
2 of
amount
your
faster.
attunement slots?
I would mean giving up the Bracelet of Night Eye,
Oh, okay.
Oh no.
which is
That thing
not,
you already gave up once before.
it's the thing I already gave up once before. Like, it's useful, but it's, there are more useful things.
Well, I'm actually wondering, does Raiken's attuning take up all his slots like my whole armor set? I have no room for anything else.
No, I still have an open slot because I don't have my Night Eye attuned.
Oh, must be nice.
And we don't have a magic weapon either, so is it...
You're gonna
Yeah,
ask
right,
the
you have
dude
to
who
use
uses
the-
a battle axe to go down to a dagger? Wow.
Yeah, I would not choose the dagger.
All right, guys.
Yeah, because you have the belt of Raiken strength, too. That's right.
Alright, so. That's where we're at. It's, the in-game time is, say, 2:30, between 2:30 and 3 o'clock in... in Aspara, in Everwatch. 8 hours ahead of that for Dicoselthus, and I believe that means it's been, what, 2 more hours, so you're down to 10 hours left out of your 22, I think. Started at 11,
Cool.
and 8 hours, round
Yeah.
3 is 11, so yeah, you've done 12 hours. So yeah, 10 hours left.
Cool.
Okay. So we'll call it there. Sorry to have gone overtime. But yeah, good stuff, everybody. Thank you for that. And have a good night. Bye, stream.
Bye, stream.
Goodbye.
Nice dream.